Hi there, welcome to I'll Unfly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Virgo energy. And we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because it's not a personal reading. And everyone has free will. Some people harness high vibe Virgo energy. Some people harness a more worldly focused Virgo energy. Some people harness a more shadowy Virgo energy. We've all got lessons to learn. High vibe energy is about growing and healing and maturing yourself, dealing with the truth, aligning with truth, love, justice, fairness, character, and integrity. And that's not how some people haven't healed, some people haven't grown and matured, some people don't see the truth that it's about love. They could think it's more about themselves or ego or image or money and materialism or indulgence. And some people think it's just unfair to emotionally manipulate people to get what they want. So listen to your intuition about how you harness your Virgo energy, how other people in your life harness their Virgo energy. Virgo energy can be, what's our long-term goal? Is it this worldly view of life, about yourself, indulgence, money, materialism? Or is it about wanting to free yourself from your more worldly, egoic, immature nature, to grow up and mature yourself to become all you can be in the world and be proud of yourself and be someone who really is who you present yourself as being in the world? Being an emotionally stable, grounded, loving, nurturing, emotionally mature person. For some people, that is not their end goal in life. So, the overarching reason for the reading is the woman holding coin. Which way I read tarot cards is the masculine figures can represent how we present ourselves in the world and the action that we're taking, but the feminine figures talk about how we really think and feel. And I view the Queen of Pentacles as Taurus energy, which has to do with our underlying philosophy of life that guides the decisions we make, what we invest our time, energy, and effort into, what we don't invest our time, energy, and effort into. Everybody has this dualistic nature. Everybody has battled within themselves to make these choices in life. And at the end of it, and every day of their life, it's reflecting a certain philosophy of life that they have emotionally invested in. Some people, it's about the world. Some people, it's about love and hope and faith and belief in themselves. And some people are juggling back and forth still, haven't picked a path. And the hostilities card is like the Five of Swords. We all have, which is like Aquarius energy. I have a dream. What is my dream? Is it my truth is, it's the world, it's me, it's indulgence, ego, image, or is it love? Some people have looked at life from a higher perspective. They've already went and pursued those things in the world and realize if they haven't learned to love and believe in themselves and they make those things of the world more important to them, that those things really don't bring to our life what we thought they would bring. It brings us things. It brings us things to indulge in. It brings temporary satisfaction. If we want long-term fulfillment, we have to look at life from a higher perspective. That it is about finding balance within our dualistic nature. Yes, I want some of these things of the world to enjoy and have. We all want stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But I'm not going to sell my soul or give up on love in order to just have those things. I want a truly abundant foundation, which is where I work cooperatively in balance, justice. I want these things, but I also want to be proud of myself and act with character and integrity and be in loving, nurturing, supportive relationships. And if I want that type of balance in my life, I have to be balanced within myself. And that means instead of being all about myself or all about the world or all about my ego, I need to, the fives also can talk about change and being in balance in a way. I've looked at life from a higher perspective. I have a dream. High vibe people want to move forward feeling proud of themselves, being inspired by hope and faith and belief and love, and they want to move forward with other people who are in that energy. And if they know people in their life who seem to want to win at all costs and it's all about them or all about ego and image or money and materialism, they're turning their back on investing in those people because your truth is different than my truth. What drives and motivates you is different than what drives and motivates me. High vibe people have seen the truth. They've seen through the illusion of their more worldly, egoic nature. That they know if they keep indulging their more egoic, immature, worldly, defensive, materialistic, bossy, controlling, thinking the scales of justice should be tipped in their favor, they're probably not going to be in relationships with creative, inspired, intuitive, loving, warm people. And they've done this work within themselves to heal their more worldly nature, to look at life from a higher perspective and be inspired to get more balanced within themselves. We can all present ourselves in the world any way we want. Some people are going to present themselves as like they're these loving, nurturing people, but they're not. They kind of love themselves more than they want to work cooperatively with other people. But they want to be in relationships with other people because it looks like they have what other people have. It looks like they've moved forward. Look at me. I've moved forward in a new relationship. Look, I'm victorious. Or look, I have a job and I have money and I have status. People should want to be in a relationship with me. Yeah, some people are in love with themselves and they're full of themselves. Other people have realized, I want deep, meaningful relationships. I want stability and security and enjoy the finer things in life, but love is what makes it all worthwhile. And I want to move forward with other people who've seen the truth of that. The other people just might want to be in a relationship for what they can get out of it. It's good for my ego. It's good for my image. I just want to be in a relationship. I have a lot of mental conflict. I want someone to be in a relationship with me to make me feel better, to make me feel more balanced within myself. You know, some people just want to be in relationships for the wrong reasons. Some people want to get married for the wrong reasons. Some people want a job for the wrong reasons. High vibe people want to be in a relationship with people who want to work with them, be their friend, and be in relationships with them for the right reasons. Inspired to heal and grow and mature and operate from a foundation of love. And other people are like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to make my life about the world. I don't want to deal with my inner conflict. I don't want to get out of my ego. I might not want to do love. If I do love, I take a risk of being hurt. I operate from my ego. I choose to get in relationships for the wrong reasons because then I feel I won't get hurt. I think they're hurting themselves every day, but, you know, that's how they view life, and some people do. Or for the money or the materialism or the status. Some people want to win at all costs. It's most important that they have a certain image and status or amount of money. And for some people, it's like an addiction. Enough is never enough. And they're willing to use their emotional nature in a shadowy way to get what they want in the world. So, that's the overarching energy. People are going to emotionally invest in what their truth is, which can be trying to manipulate loving people or to get what they want in the world. Other people are loving and believing in themselves, maintaining balance within themselves, moving forward with the people in their life who treat them in a just and fair and loving, authentic way. The Queen of Swords is what's going on in Virgo energy. Which again, the Queen of Swords emotionally can be about what our dreams are. It can also talk about that some other things that we went and invested in didn't work out the way we wanted, and we've had some people in our life that we could feel betrayed by. The shadowy people feel betrayed that the loving people loved and believed in themselves and stood up for themselves and loved and believed in themselves enough to move away from these people. And they feel betrayed by those people. You should have stayed in a relationship. It looked good. We had status. We had image. Or you should have indulged me. Those people are mad because other people saw the truth of who they were. The high vibe people have probably felt betrayed by people in their life who do live more from their mind than their heart. You know, we've had people in our life when we have two of the same suit come out, the King and Queen of Swords, thinking woman, thinking man. There's a lot of things that we could have had in common with people. It seemed like it should have moved forward in a just and fair and balanced way. And for some people, and with some people in your life, it will. Because you are on the same page. You have the same truth. The people who are in relationships where it's more about ego or image or living more from your mind than your heart and your defensive nature, there's some people that are in relationships like that right now. And they're going to invest in defending that relationship because they view that as victorious. They're on the same page as them. There's going to be other people in the world who are in relationships with people who look at life from a higher perspective, and they're on the same page. They both are balanced within themselves. It's about truth and love, and those people are investing in defending those relationships. And then there's people in the world, well, and then like the relationship people who move forward with you in that way. It's just that some people in our life, we've seen the truth that they're not on the same page as us, and the high vibe people were willing to speak their truth about it. The high vibe people were willing to learn lessons in life. The World card talks about completing a cycle. In tarot, the way the stories go, which is like life, you go on these journeys to learn lessons in life. And when you live your life at a certain phase of life, you learn lessons during that time period. And you complete a cycle, and you're like ready to go to the next phase of life. Some people, though, don't learn lessons in life because they're all about the world or their ego or some truth they don't want to see the truth of. Maybe they like to live more from their mind than their heart. That makes practical, logical sense to them. They won't get hurt that way. They're not going to do love. Well, those people are not willing to get out of their ego or their defensive nature to admit that they have lessons to learn in life. And they've made their life, their truth, is more about the world. And that's how they're going to keep moving forward in life. Other people go with the flow. I learn lessons in life. I get out of my ego to admit I have lessons to learn. I have healing and growing and maturing to do. I do that phase of life because I align with the third chakra, which is like life force energy. But some people don't think they should have to heal or grow or mature themselves or look at life from any higher perspective. And they're pretty sure that making their life about themselves and the world, that's kind of where they derive their life force energy from. I derive my sense of worth and value based on how I present myself in the world and how people view me and maybe what I wear and what I drive and what I look like and how much money I have. That's where they derive their sense of worth and value. It's from the world. And they're probably going to keep living their life that way. And the other people are going to probably keep living life their way. And people are going to have these new beginnings. Why? Based on what they find as being abundant. So, some of you people had people in your life that you wanted to have work with you in the sun energy, where people were authentic and loving and warm, just and fair, acting with character and integrity. A really abundant, loving, stable, grounded foundation. But some people weren't willing to move forward with you in that way because they'd have to get out of their defensive nature or their self-centered nature. They'd have to grow or heal or mature in some way. And for some, it would have required a whole different change in philosophy of life. We have this dualistic nature. We can pick this and align with our more worldly nature, or we can pick our more loving, intuitive nature. And then there's the people juggling in between. And for some people, they weren't willing to maybe be more authentically themselves in the world. You know, it takes time to become yourself in the world, to even get clear about what your truth is and isn't. And some people are still choosing to live more from their mind, live from their ego and their kind of defensive nature, instead of being more authentically themselves in the world. That would be truly abundant, living a truly abundant life. But we do have to learn lessons about being more authentically ourselves and being willing to be more authentically ourselves. We have to get out of our ego and our defensive nature to live our authentic life. Some people aren't there yet. Some people will never get there. If they make their life more about the world and ego and image and indulgence or money and materialism, well, they can be completely happy living their life that way. If that's what they view as what will make them happy and they're happy living their life that way, they're going to keep living their life that way. Some people we'd like to have move forward with us, but some of those people are already in loving, abundant relationships, and we have to see the truth of that. And we accept the truth of it, we get out of our ego about it, and we believe that the divine has a plan for our life. You know, sometimes when we were off learning lessons in life, because we had some growing and healing and maturing to do, there could have been some people that then, once we ended that we wanted to have a new beginning with, or that we meet that we want to be in a relationship with, but sometimes those people are already in supportive, encouraging, loving, authentic relationships. And we put an end to being in our ego about it. And with the broken heart, we wish people peace, love, and joy, and we love and believe in ourselves to go on our own journey. Door to personal healing and happiness with the action card. You know, we trust and believe that, you know, since life is about learning lessons, if there was some people that we wanted to go on this journey with, but God ultimately knows where everyone is at, how they view life, what drives and motivates them. And maybe there's some people in our life that they're not, maybe if we already knew them, maybe they're people that we've already learned everything we were meant to learn from them. And then we're supposed to go on these different journeys in life. And the divine knows that people want to move forward, you know, to personal healing and happiness and being inspired to grow and mature themselves to their full potential, to be in loving and nurturing and balanced relationships. And maybe some of the people that we thought were on the same page as us maybe aren't. But God knows. You know, sometimes we don't know people well enough. We meet people and we think they'd be someone that we could go on this journey with, but maybe they also do what seems more practical and logical, and maybe they're not willing to look at life differently. And, you know, you could look at life as these different stages of life, of learning and growing and healing and having hope and faith and belief in yourself and being more authentically yourself. And everybody has the free will choice. If there's a certain stage of life that it's like, no, I'm good here, this makes me happy, this is what I wanted. You know, there's some people who, not to say, I mean, we can feel like one is worse or bad or whatever, but everybody lives their life based on probably what makes them feel comfortable at the time and what makes them feel balanced within themselves. And if we with other people or other people with us were to try to force us to live our life in a way that we weren't comfortable with yet, it would cause us a lot of mental conflict, right? About moving forward in that way. We all are where we're at in what makes us feel comfortable. You know, some people we might know and we could view as being quite stuck because they're just, again, might live more from their mind than their heart, might be more about the world and ego and image and money and materialism. And those people are probably going to move forward with people in relationships that are on the same page as them. And that's just and fair for them to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as them. We could like them to be different. They would like us to be different. They probably could feel betrayed too. Why didn't you make your life about indulging in these things I indulged in? We could have gotten along just fine. Why can't you make your life more about being happy with ego or image, or why can't you be happy making your life more about me? Why are you creative and inspired and have your own dreams? We just are all at where we're at. The difference is some people are going to continue moving forward more from their egoic or defensive or immature or worldly view of life. And other people have seen through the illusion. They've been illuminated to the truth. If I really want my dreams to come into reality, if I listen to love and intuition to guide me, that's how I can manifest those things into reality. If I align with I've been betrayed before, it's all about me, or it's all about the world, or it's all about my ego and image, and I make that the most important thing, I think those people are going to end up heartbroken. We've got lessons to learn in life. And when we think, this is the way to do it, this is the way for me to be happy, this is going to make me from being hurt, but I'm not seeing the truth, that it's about love, treating other people the way I like to be treated. And I think this makes logical, practical sense, or this will be stable and abundant, this will make me happy, but we're not making decisions more out of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, codependency. We're going to learn some tough lessons, and some of you have learned those lessons that some other people in your life haven't learned yet. And you've been illuminated to the truth. I'm not going to make decisions out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity and lust and greed and codependency. I'm going to keep focused on the bigger picture. The world is meant to be enjoyed, but it's meant to be enjoyed from a place of love. That way you don't make those things in the world so important to you to make you happy. There's a higher truth and justice. I'm going to go enjoy the world, enjoy people in the world, enjoy things in the world, but I'm not going to let them get such a stranglehold on me that I make those things more important to me than listening to love and intuition to guide my decisions. And some people do. Some of those people are sure that the things that they're going to go indulge in are going to make them happy. It could be drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, being an immature player, being all about themselves, being immature, being bossy, being controlling. That's how they find life to be abundant, making their life more about ego and image. I think those people are going to learn some hard lessons in life. Because when we don't have the right intention, we're kind of like planting bad seeds, but wanting a bountiful harvest. Well, we reap what we sow. And if there's some people that are in shadowy energy, bossy, controlling, defensive, prideful, egotistical, whatever it is, odds are they're going to have some loving, authentic, warm, giving people leave their life. The World card can talk about an ending, closing out a cycle to have a new beginning. People have been in relationships with people like this. They offered love and encouragement to try to help those people look at life from a higher perspective, to have some hope and faith and belief in themselves, to get balance within themselves, to offer themselves love and compassion and forgiveness. We've all made mistakes, and we've all had people who have hurt us. Accept the truth that some of the people in your life who hurt you, they were where they were at. Does that mean everyone's going to be like that? No, 50% of the people are probably aligned with their loving nature at any moment. 50% of the people might be aligned with their more worldly nature. Are we willing to see the truth about people? who is speaking the truth and who is maybe trying to control us. And it's the same way with our dualistic nature. Our mind was created to protect us from harm. But we are not to let our mind and our emotions and all those things make us a slave. We are meant to learn to master our thoughts and our emotions. They are a part of our world. They were given to us as a gift, but we have to learn to work with them. And I think the way to work with them is to offer them love and compassion and forgiveness. So we offer love and compassion and forgiveness to our own more immature worldly nature. We've made mistakes. We had growing and maturing and healing to do. We've had other people hurt us. Are we going to stay in hurt, defensive, self-protective energy? Or are we going to be like our own best mother, father, coach voice within ourselves to give ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us, so that we don't give up on our dreams and we can keep going on this journey, being inspired by love and looking at life as an adventure to be lived, that we saw the truth that some people aren't as mature or as just or as fair or as loving or compassionate or whatever as we wish they would have been. But because of that, are we going to give up our dreams because there's shadowy people in the world? Or do we just close out investing our time, energy, and effort into people in the world who might be kind of emotionally cold or detached or bossy or controlling, or have their own idea of what they think is just and fair, or they're egotistical or self-centered? The problem is some people have had people who have hurt them, but they don't want to see the truth of it. And that is what can cause them some mental conflict of moving forward with other people in their life who maybe are more loving, nurturing, emotionally mature, and authentic. And some of those people have a problem with it because they really viewed some of those people as like the truth. Well, why can't we see that, those people were living life to the best that they could, and when we were in a relationship with them, we could have seen them as the epitome of truth. That is the just and fair way to live life, and they're these loving, nurturing, warm people, and I really love them. Well then, is there anything wrong? It'd be like saying someone was a great piano player, but then we meet someone else who is a great, a unique or different piano player, and then we have mental conflict about that. Well, I have a problem about being around you because you seem to put a unique, and we've had that through generations, right? Of different types of music. Oh my gosh, in the 1960s when the Beatles and Elvis came, oh my gosh, that is Satan music. There shouldn't be different type of music than this music. This music was our truth. Sometimes people kind of have that way of viewing people they're in relationship with. And they viewed them as these certain type of people. And that was their philosophy of life and how they were going to move forward in life. That was their truth. And then they kind of meet some people who kind of might inspire them to kind of look at life a little differently. And that's it's kind of weird, but for some people, it can really cause them a lot of inner conflict. We don't really have it out here on the table, but it kind of reminds me of how I describe Scorpio energy and people in their Scorpio emotional nature, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are. In our Scorpio energy, we either look at life as an adventure to kind of be lived, and there's all this different depth and color and everything to experience emotionally. But some people harness a more worldly or shadowy kind of Scorpio energy where it's either black or white. This is good, that's bad, and they can't see the gray. And for some people, you know, for people to do things differently than how they were brought up or how they view life, that causes them a lot of inner conflict. You're taking like creative, inspired action and doing things differently. I don't do things differently. I do what the world says or how I grew up. People said you should live your life. Live your life. This is the way to live life. You're living life differently. That, therefore, must be bad or wrong, you know? But they're also like people, you know, we were caveman people and now we're like where we're at today. And then we had the 1960s, 1970s. They're just like people who get stuck in a time warp. There are people who aren't willing to step out of their comfort zone to kind of just go with the flow of things. You know, God is trying to manifest us as a humanity to grow to our full potential. And there's always people along the way that don't like change. I like the way I grew up. This is the way I view life. This is how everybody should live life. If they had lived in the caveman era and everybody lived in the caveman era with them, and everybody was like that, we would have never changed. No, we can't ever come up with a new system for where we go to the bathroom. That's wrong. We never did that. You know, and eventually people made things on a slope so they could go to the bathroom and it would all drain out of town, you know. People invented indoor plumbing. People created light bulbs. You know, some people are just very rigid. Guess I don't. Virgo is earth sign energy, and earth can be rigid and unchanging, and some people could be very rigid and unchanging, unwilling to change. And because of that, some other people are going on this journey because though I could love you, if you act in these rigid, unchanging ways, you're defensive of being more creative and inspired or authentic or loving, and you want to make your life more about these things or being defensive and more self-protective. I have a dream of being in a relationship with people who are inspired by love. People who have emotionally grown and matured themselves and dealt with their defensive nature and their prideful nature and wanting it to just be their way or the highway. It's like, you know, I hope you find someone who wants to do that with you, but it's not me. And even though it caused me some mental conflict, because I do have love for you, if you're my sibling, if you're my friend, I'm really not going to be spending much time with you anymore. Because I want to go spend my time with the people who I feel work together with me in a more just and fair, authentic, loving, warm way. And are more willing to go on this journey with me where we don't know where it's going. We let love and intuition guide us. Who knows where it'll lead us? But believing that our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate in this world and be creative and inspired to giving birth to new things. I want to give birth to new things, and for some people, that is like a sin. How dare you want to do life differently? How dare you not make your life about conforming to the world? Shame on you. So I'm sure you get the idea. High vibe people want to move forward with other high vibe people. People who are defensive to doing that. Everybody could have mental conflict. People could have cared about each other, loved each other. You just view life differently. Both people could have felt betrayed, or the different people in the relationship could feel betrayed. But it's just what we think is just and fair in relationships is different. Love is about treating other people the way you want to be treated. And it is about willing to see things from other people's perspectives. And if they, have their own unique talent, skills, and interests that God gave them that they find interesting and creative and inspired, which other people might not, and they've got their own thing that they enjoy doing, and some people don't want other people to have those things, or you shouldn't do that. You should do what I do. It's like, High vibe energy is also in Virgo energy. People are independent, and people are respected as being their own independent human being who has their own journey in life, has their own unique talent, skills, and interest in life. And then we work together, and the middle part is the common goal that we're working towards, like in a family. But we respect that each person is their own individual, and some people don't like that because they could think it's supposed to be all about them, or they have this idea of what the dream relationship is supposed to look like, and it wasn't you being more independent or creative or inspired or healed or balanced or loving within yourself. For some people, it's all about them. In the shadowy Aquarius energy that they harness within themselves. Well, I thought it was going to be more about me. I make it more about me. I live more from my mind than my heart. I align with my more worldly, egoic nature instead of my loving nature. I operate from my ego. I've been hurt before. I want to be in relationships where people make life about me. Well, that would be a very immature, egocentric view of life, right? And some people are still like very emotionally immature and egotistical and self-centered, and that's their dream idea of the dream relationship. And other people said, you know, I'm my own individual. I have my own things that I find, my own life outside of our life that we're building together. And for some people, that's not okay. You can't go out there and be creative and inspired as your own individual human being. You're supposed to give that up when you got in a relationship with me. That's how I view life. It's like, okay, well, I hope you find someone who wants to do that with you, because I'm not. And the high vibe people moved on, closed out that chapter of their life, did this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves. They're standing up for what they believe in. They've changed. The shadowy people probably are in their ego about the whole thing and quite defensive. High vibe people have worked through all that, and they're at a place of peace. The fives, I'm at a place of peace and balance. I've changed. And I can probably see that some of these people in my life have not changed. And they're going and living life the way they want to go live life. And I'm going to keep moving forward, investing in my life and the people in my life who want to work together with me and are on the same page as me. And as you got out of certain situations in your life, you could have illuminated the lessons that you'd learned to some other people in your life and about how you're going to move forward now. And some of those people will be defensive to moving forward with you in that way, and some people are on the same page as you and will protect you moving forward in that way and defend like you defend living their life. You know, letting everybody have free will. Some of the people who have this certain way of living life that don't like it when people are more independent and live their own authentic life, because some people and the way they live life is they are used to people controlling them, and therefore they like to control other people, and they don't like it when other people are kind of stepping outside of the norm to live their authentic life. And some of those people are heartbroken. You know, that some of the people in their life are kind of loving and believing in themselves and being these more authentic, creative, inspired, loving people in the world, because that's not how they live their life. And then when kind of the more authentic, loving people are around the people who might like to present themselves as being those type of people, but it's more like a persona and a strategy that they operate from, you know, it kind of illuminates that they're different. And it really can bother the people who like to view themselves as these loving, nurturing people, but it is more of them letting their ego run their life. And they see people who are really living their life authentically, and it causes them this mental conflict within themselves about, like, why don't they do that? But in order to move forward in life, to figure out why don't I live my life that way, you'd have to shed light on this pain and heartbreak within you. Maybe about some people in their life that they viewed as loving, that maybe didn't want them to live their authentic life, who wanted them to live their life like this, and they, you either did what they said or there was going to be problems. And they'd have to deal with that. And for some of them, they don't want to deal with it and see the truth of it. Don't want to see how they weren't maybe willing to stand up for what they believed in and be more authentic and be more bold and brave and illuminate their truth. And so they live this life of conforming to the world, and then it bothers them when other people are living their more authentic life. Because those people aren't manipulated by the things that they're manipulated by. And for some of them, what they're just manipulated by is these more immature ways of being. I want to be immature. I want to be defensive. I want to be the center of attention. Everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in this relationship, but I never should have to. Why aren't you people doing life the way I want it? And they could have known people who were like that. And somewhere along the path of life, they decided, boy, if there's going to be people like that in relationships, it's going to be me being in that position. Some of these people could be repeating a pattern of way of living life that they said they never would do. And they're being exactly like some of the people in their life that caused them a lot of mental conflict. But if that's how they view life, that someone is going to be the bossy, controlling person, well, by golly, that's going to be me. I'm not going to be loving and authentic and take a risk of being hurt. And other people are willing to be loving and authentic and take a risk getting hurt. And when they see that they're in relationships with people who are not on the same page as them, they love and believe in themselves and move on. Some of these people that hide behind their ego, the only thing I can conclude is that they don't believe maybe that they could pick themselves up again. It's so wild to think that, well, what if I were to be authentically myself? Like, as if that is some laying down of your pride or ego. And then what if it didn't work out? Well, like as if it would cause them all this mental conflict that they were authentic and loving. I mean, see what a twisted way of viewing that is? But I do think that's how some people view it. I would be, that's the whole thing. People should just be authentic and honest and vulnerable and loving. And then they're not in their ego about it. We have no control. We have no idea when other people are going to drive their life off into the ditch, get caught up in things, get all their life turned upside down, and it doesn't work out. But I think some people, because they have such a fragile ego, what if I were to be my authentic self and it didn't work out? What if they rejected me, like they didn't love my authentic self? Well, then they're just not the people who are on the same page. I think people should be proud of themselves. I was authentic. I was loving. I was nurturing. I was kind. I walked the talk. I wasn't operating from my ego. If this relationship doesn't work out, I can feel proud of myself that I'm a loving, nurturing, healing, giving person who puts work and effort into a relationship. And if this person, it didn't work out, we're not on the same page, they're not who I thought they were, I take my wonderful traits and characteristics with me into the next relationship. I keep believing in myself and believing in my dreams And I'm not going to let my more emotionally defensive, egoic nature run my life. And I think some of these people, it's just like it's this huge concession. Like they'd be mad at themselves if they acted in an authentic, just and fair and loving way. I find that wild. That is just such a weird way of looking at things. But I guess if they've always been that way, I mean, I think it's true that you shouldn't, not everybody should have access to your more authentic, creative, loving nature if that's not the type of relationship that you have. Some people, though, are so defensive of letting that aspect of themselves out, it ends up stopping them from having new beginnings. It has become a stumbling block within them. My goodness, can't we be a little revealing and truthful and giving, and instead of like, I don't know. I'm sure you get it. Okay, let's jump to the next part. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? We have the Eight of Swords, the Justice card, the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Leo Strength card. And the reason these came out is because of the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is Leo energy, just like the Sun. Just like the Victory Six of Wands card. We all have lessons to learn in life. We can all get caught up in the illusion of the world. We can all have been in more codependent energy. We could have all been sure that if we indulge in these certain things in the world, or that a relationship was the answer to our happiness. And then, you know, those things didn't work out the way we wanted because we had lessons to learn. And then we were illuminated to the truth. Oh my gosh, it starts with me loving me. If I keep looking outside of myself for the answer, that keeps me in codependent energy. And then there's going to be people in the world who are happy I haven't learned to love and believe in myself, and that I'm in this more codependent energy, because then I'll stay in a relationship with them, even, you know, and they could be in that same energy, but neither one of us is growing and healing and maturing ourselves. And I saw the truth of it. I need to learn to love me. And I do this work within myself to be inspired to get out of my more egoic, worldly nature, give myself the things I wanted other people to give me, so I can be free of those things. And then sometimes it's when you do that work in a relationship, that's when the people in your life become defensive. Because they were okay moving forward in the relationship the way it was, and then you did this work within yourself and you changed. You're like ready to move forward in life differently. And in order to keep moving forward with you, because the truth sets you free to move to the next level of life, kind of, they would have to do this work within themselves. And that maybe was never how they were planning to live their life. You know, Virgo energy goes within to look at the things we prefer to keep hidden in the dark. And they might want to keep those things hidden in the dark. So they became defensive. And they could have tried to break your heart and do all these things to make you stop loving and believing in yourself, to keep doing the relationship the way you'd been doing it. And that's when you realize that, you know, you're not on the same page. And it had you up in a mental prison. But you want justice and fairness, and part of justice and fairness is you investing in loving yourself and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams and tempering your more worldly, egoic, past pain and heartbreak aspect of self. And you realize they were in a mental prison about doing that. That they think it's just and fair to keep aligning with this more worldly view of life, of living more from your mind than your heart, and staying in a relationship more for the ego or the image or the codependency. And you said, we apparently view life differently. Our philosophies of life are different. And though it breaks my heart, I can't keep living my life like this. And if you don't want to do the work within yourself that stops you from moving forward like this. It's kind of like, I wish you peace. I hope it works out for you of how you want to move forward in your life. But I'm listening to my intuition and what I think is just and fair, to be strong, to be more authentically myself, to heal, grow, mature myself. And those are the people I'm going to invest in. The people who also have looked at life from a higher perspective, who also have tempered their fears and insecurities, who have learned to love themselves and are more authentic and loving and warm and believe there's more to this world than just us or the ego or the image or the money or the materialism or the indulgence or indulging someone else. You know, you're working to bring your dreams into reality. There's going to be some people in the world who are going to move forward with you in this energy. And there's going to be some people in the world who go through this process within themselves who are going to invest in moving forward with you. Irregardless, you're going to be in life-giving energy, feeling abundant within yourself because you're aligned with truth and love. The shadowy people are probably going to keep moving forward, not wanting to see the truth, not wanting to illuminate the truth, moving forward in the world, operating from their more egoic nature, and defend moving forward with whoever they have in their life that moves forward with them. Because that's how they both view life. You know, people can have other people in their life, and sometimes we can get mad at those other people in their life, if it's a friend, if it's a sibling, if it's another potential love interest or whatever. But we really shouldn't be. I mean, we are initially, and we can wonder, why do these people kind of get manipulated by those people or align with those people? But it's just showing us something we weren't seeing. And if we didn't want to see the truth, and we can stay in relationships for a long time defending it because we don't want to see the truth, and then God uses other people in the world with those people maybe to illuminate the truth to us, that these people really aren't on the same page as us, and we weren't wanting to see the truth, even though our intuition could have been telling us this person really isn't on the same page as you. And even though it caused us a lot of mental conflict, it does force us to see the truth. And there comes a point in time we can't be in denial of the truth anymore. We're not on the same page. And though I can have love for you and I'm sad, I can't make other people look at life from a higher perspective. I can't make people get out of living more from their head and connect in with their emotions and intuition. You know, it's just like when we were young and we had people or parents in our life like, honey, why are you living your life like that? And why are you hanging out with those people? And, you know, you are so blah, 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 and you could do this, blah, you know, until we incorporate that within ourselves, you know, sometimes we got to learn lessons the hard way. And sometimes, you know, if we're indulging people in kind of shadowy behavior, they have no incentive to change. And sometimes we see the truth of that. If they were motivated and inspired to deal with the truth and illuminate the truth, they would. And if they're not, at what point am I going to see the truth that they don't want to? And if they're not willing to move forward in that way, then they're not willing to move forward in that way. And I give myself the things I wish they would have given me to get out of my own inner conflict and ego about it and competitive nature about it, to say, I wish you peace, but I'm moving forward like this. And you can live your life the way you want to live it. What's coming up for some people who harness some more worldly or shadowy Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? Okay, we have a card sticking out sideways in the deck. The High Priestess, the Judgment, the Devil, the Death card, and the Seven of Swords. Wow. And the reason they came out is because of the World and the Death card. So, You could have been intuitive that some people didn't really have your best interest at heart, or they're just really caught up in the world. They don't want to put an end to being a non-life-giving energy, which can be more about their worldly nature. And they didn't want to detach from their more worldly view of life or self-interest view of life or whatever shadowy or more immature ways of being that they have. And you call judgment on them. They're more about the world. The death card is Scorpio energy, so again, you didn't have to be dealing, it didn't matter if you had Scorpio sun signs in your life, is to differentiate between the people who harness high vibe Scorpio and who harnesses low vibe Scorpio. What people are more emotionally shallow and superficial emotionally, don't really want to do deep, meaningful relationships that really are more about maybe the ego and the image or themselves. Shadowy Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy, all about the world, ego, image, money, materialism. Don't believe there's any higher truth or justice to aspire to, or it's just all about them. And they're really not about working cooperatively with people, being authentic and loving and just and fair. It's just, who can I be in a relationship with that it looks like to the world I'm victorious and successful, that's good for my ego and my image, someone who will be in a relationship with me or marry me, where it looks like I'm in a victorious, successful relationship because that's the most important thing to me. It's all about the ego. It's superficial, it's shallow, it's all about how the world perceives them. And that's their philosophy of life. That's their truth. And your intuition told you that's how these people are. They also could have been kind of toxic, unhealthy, bossy, controlling, intimidating, act like a private detective in a relationship. All these ways to try to confuse you about the truth, to try to stop you from not believing in yourself and your dreams, to get you in shadowy energy, so you would stop transforming your life and keep moving forward with them in this relationship where nothing's going to change or grow or heal because they're unwilling to. And your intuition said you have to call judgment on these people, and you did. And you're not willing to keep moving forward with people who are in shadowy energy, not aligned with truth and love. And they didn't see that coming. And for some people that are just standing up for themselves now, some of those people in their life are shocked. It's like, oh, I thought you kind of would be in a mental prison forever about becoming more independent of me or standing up for yourself or believing in yourself. I thought for sure I had you right where I wanted you, and that you'd keep defending me and you'd keep moving forward with me in a relationship because of your mental conflict. And some of those people were like, why am I staying with people who create a little hell on earth? We live in a world of duality, and I think when we're in a situation where people are starting to create a little hell on earth, we offer people love and encouragement, the truth, to get them to get balanced, to move forward with us in truth and love. If they keep choosing to create a little hell on earth, that means God's creating a little heaven on earth. And if we listen to our intuition and we say, you know, I've spoken my truth, I've offered love and encouragement to move forward with you in this loving, just, and fair way. If you're not willing to do that, that breaks my heart. But I am not willing to give up my dreams to be in a relationship with someone who's acting shadowy. And I'm going to move forward and go defend and invest in the people in the world who do work with me in that energy. And high vibe people, they meet these different people in the world. They make offers to people to get to know them, to work with them. And some people will, some people won't. The people who won't, you know, it could be that, you know, if it's romantic, they could be in their own loving romantic relationship, okay? Or maybe they're not who we thought they were. Either case, I'm not going to be up in my head about it. I'm going to offer myself love to get balance within myself. offer love to the situation, keep moving forward, working with the people in my life who do work together with me in that way. And stand up and protect the people in my life who are loving and nurturing and supportive. And the other people might support the people in their life who have those things of the world that they want, even if they don't love them, even if they're heartbroken, even if there's an end to love in the relationship, because they might want those things of the world. See, that's the other thing that some shadowy people don't know. What goes around comes around. They might end up having someone who comes into their life. There's always bigger fish in the sea. And some other people are like, you're about ego and image and money and materialism, right? And you don't want to change, and you don't look at life from a higher perspective, and those things really got a hold on you. Perfect. You're the kind of person I want to be in a relationship with. I love being in relationships with people who are like that. So basically, this works for me. You might have ego and image and status and power and influence. I'd be able to be in a relationship. You want to try to present it as this loving, nurturing relationship? Perfect. I'll play the game with you. It works for me. And then the person they could get in a relationship, though, knows that this person is very maybe about the ego and the image and the money and materialism, and they'll use all those things about that person to manipulate them. And they could think their dream's going to come into reality the way they envisioned it. No. If they're codependent on the person they get in a relationship with to have that image and that status, how they thought things were going to move forward is coming to an end. Because in shadowy energy, it can be whoever has the power, the influence, the whatever it is that people want, they're the ones who are deferred to. And some of these people, because I just think that's how they view relationships. It's not about love and respecting what everybody brings to the table. No, we think the things of the world or whatever is more important. If it's my looks, if it's my power, my social clout, my money, whatever I got, that's how they view life. It's a more transactional relationship. I live more for my mind than my heart. What makes practical, logical sense? If I have more of those things, then people are supposed to defer to me. But if I was the one who had more of the things of the world, and I had been in a relationship with a loving person, that was really great, that looked really good, but then those people left, well, now the shoe might be on the other foot. They're going to have to get in a relationship with someone who maybe has more of the things that they want, or just because they want to be in a relationship, some other people, they have the upper hand. And if they know this person has these issues that they can use to manipulate them, they will. And by worldly standards, it might look great, but they might have a lot of mental conflict defending whatever this is that looks victorious, because it's certainly not love. And I think a lot of the shadowy people are used to being in relationships with people who are loving and nurturing, who used to indulge them in their ego. But now we have two people who kind of want to be the boss, who want the image and the status, but they're both defensive to love, and they're both not really authentic, and they have past pain and heartbreak they dealt with. And so it's just a world of emotional superficiality, a very emotionally shallow, superficial relationship. And it's kind of like God's telling them, this is what you aligned with. Is this what you wanted? Really? Really? I mean, you can have that if you want. You can keep defending that if you want. That's what you thought you wanted. Is that really what you want? And it's trying to get people to see that what they thought would make them happy is breaking their heart. And for them to maybe be inspired to work through their mental conflict they have about looking at life differently. to even admit that maybe they had some lessons to learn. Maybe they had some growing up to do. Pride comes before the fall. They can keep living their life like that if they want. Nothing's going to grow there. Nothing's going to be any different. Same old thing, same old way of interacting in relationships that they're been used to probably in their life or in their original family or something. Other people are going on an adventure. You want to go on an adventure? You know, and that can take years, you know, so don't hold your breath for anybody that you know that's like that. But it is trying to get them to see that, and they'll probably be fine in it because maybe that's what makes them feel comfortable. I like making my life and being in a relationship because of the ego and the image and the money. I don't like to be in deep, meaningful relationships. If I'm in a relationship with someone where it's not a deep, meaningful relationship, you know, we need all different kinds of folks in the world. We have duality and diversity. And that way you look at different people and people can be like, huh, do I want to live my life like that? Or do I want to live my life like that? And then we see these people who play out these different decisions in life. And we kind of get to see it to decide how we want to live our life. It maybe could help dissuade other people in these people's lives decide, yeah, I'm not doing that. Damn. I want to go be more creative. You know, so God uses everything for God's good purposes. It all serves a purpose. So there you go, Virgo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.